This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium Free Talk. This Infinium Free Talk is entitled, Woke Can No Longer Be Sustained. My brothers, it seems lately that the price of being woke is reaching killer nosebleed levels. So much so that corporations who try to force feed woke down our throats are paying a very high price, both in the sense of epic failures as well as epic financial loss. This is not saying that woke has not been around for all that long, because woke has been around for quite a while. What it is saying is that unlike in the past, where woke could be sustained financially, it no longer, these days, has sustainability. That is, corporations which push woke can no longer sustain the financial hits caused by pushing identity politics as well as any other form of wokeness. And yes, in the past, corporations like Gillette were able to weather the effects of going woke, like an $8 billion loss because of their toxic masculinity ad campaign. But these days, again, that money, those war chests are running out, and they're running out fast. So, for instance, my brothers, I worked for a corporation a few years back when I was doing my retail thing. And one day, this corporation, which it is a department store basically, and it has all types of goods, anything ranging from groceries to clothing, that type of thing. One day, a transmorpher called up the CEO and said this, that I will not shop in your stores because you do not have transmorpher clothing in your stores. And you're doing a disservice to the transmorpher community by not having transmorpher clothing in your stores. So the CEO of this department store where I worked said, yes, I agree with that, and we will make that change. And so what happened was the entire men's department of that department store was taken away and replaced with transmorpher clothing. And they put out these statements that it was a good thing that they were addressing these needs of these transmorphers. They were doing all these things. But then about 8 months into it, they found that men were no longer shopping in their stores. Men had closed their wallets and they had walked away. And in fact, I, as an employee, stopped shopping for clothing in that store, for men's clothing in that store, because I could get very deep discounts because of my employee discounts and all that. But there wasn't any type of men's clothing in that store for me to buy. So I went elsewhere. Again, I was an employee of this corporation, and I could not, as a man, find any male clothing or men's clothing in this store because they decided to take away the men's department and replace it with a transmorpher department. So again, about 8 months into it, they discovered that men were not shopping in the stores, and they were losing quite a bit of money. They were losing customers, all types of things. So they reverted back to selling men's clothing. And the pendulum swung back so hard that they actually put up these pictures of men who look like PUAs, athletes, all types of things, to show male customers, that they were, again, catering to customers who were men. And that, in a sense, they were sorry for doing that. But again, this actually happened. It was due to one transmorpher calling up the CEO of this corporation and demanding that they change what they sold in their stores. And that happened a few years ago, but the corporation was able to absorb that hit and keep on going. But flash forward to today, that corporation would not dare do something like that because it would kill their bottom line very big. And particularly because of all the things that are going on right now in our society, they wouldn't dare do it. But nevertheless, getting back to what I was saying, my brothers, these corporations years ago, they could do these things and weather these storms, but these days they can no longer do so. And it is killing them financially. It is killing what these woke people want to do, and it is causing a lot of things to be shut down and turned off in terms of wokeness, in terms of what's going on these days. My brothers, I will give you 3 examples of what is happening right now in terms of the non-sustainability of wokeness. Number 1, G4 TV. My brothers, if any of you are an old geezer like me who was in the IT field, IT fields back in the early 80s, 90s, 2000s, you would probably remember a show called Tech TV. And Tech TV was a cable channel that catered to computing, technology, all sorts of things. And it was quite popular for a while, and then it got merged with what was called at the time G4. And G4 was more towards gaming and everything. And I think that was at the time that Comcast had bought up Tech TV and they had created G4. Now, at that time, there was no streaming platforms like YouTube. There was nothing like what's going on in our day and age. But back then, it was just cable. So if you want any type of information from a show like Tech TV, you had to buy a cable subscription and watch it on cable TV. And so Tech TV eventually went away and it became G4 TV. And for a time, it existed as a total gaming channel, which was suited only for people that game. And as the rise of streaming platforms came about, and YouTube and all of that, there came channels specifically designed for gaming, wherein you did not have to buy a cable subscription, a cable TV subscription to watch these channels. So G4 TV eventually went down and was pulled off the air. But as of November of 2021, Comcast, which I believe owns G4 or owns certain things, they decided to reboot G4 TV, but only as a streaming channel on YouTube. And because of its past popularity, it had a big subscriber base of gamers. And G4, again, was supposed to be totally devoted to gaming. And that went along fine until earlier this year, a show host by the name of Indiana Black, or Frosk, or Froskerant, decided to go on a woke rant about the sexism in gaming. And in that rant, she revealed that her expertise in gaming wasn't all that, and that she blamed the male viewers of that channel for being sexist and not accepting her evaluation of games. She basically said that she was a shill, this and that and whatever. But at the end, she told male gamers that if you didn't like what we had to say, you didn't like G4 TV, you didn't like what I had to say as a show host, you can get lost. And that's exactly what happened to the subscriber base, the male subscriber base. They got lost. They left. And overnight, G4 TV imploded. And it imploded so bad that they actually, within a few days or weeks or so of that rant, that Frosk or whoever she is, made that rant, they changed the name of G4 to X-Play. And X-Play was a popular show that was on G4 TV back when it was on cable, but they tried to do everything they could to bring back the male viewership. But as of this video, Frost is getting handed her hat. The subscriber base of G4 or X-Play is down in the sewer, so to speak, and they have no way of bringing back that subscriber base because, number one, there are other channels which are better than what X-Play or G4 TV was. And secondly, you don't insult your male subscriber base by doing things like what Frost did. You just do not do that because they will go away. And again, that's exactly what happened to G4 TV. And I will say this, because of the backing of Comcast, G4 TV had a lot of money going into it in terms of sets, in terms of productions, all types of things. But again, it was this one womanist pixie, Frost, who caused an implosion. And it was, again, not sustainable. Even with all of those production capabilities, they have not been able to get those male subscribers back. And I doubt that they will ever get them back. And it looks like X-Play, as it is probably going to be gone maybe by the end of this year. Number 2, Batwoman. Now, when it premiered on the CW 3 years ago, Batwoman was roundly criticized as nothing more than woke garbage with bad acting. Yet again, Batwoman kept on for 3 years. Bad acting, bad sets, all types of things. It kept on plowing through because of their woke pushing and all that. Even with being highly criticized, even with low ratings, they kept on up until this year. And as I understand, the CW is being bought, I think by Discovery or something like that. But the showrunners of Batwoman thought that they were going to get a 4th season. And then it came up that, no, you're not, you're being canceled. And the showrunners went to the viewers of Batwoman and begged them to write letters to the CW to tell them to keep Batwoman on the air because it was important to show how empowered women, lesbians, all these types of things that Batwoman was pushing, all the woke stuff. It was important to show these things. It was important to show identity politics. But nevertheless, CW pulled the plug on Batwoman. But my brothers, again, even though this show ran for 3 years, in the time that it premiered, the CW could sustain pushing that woke garbage. And basically, they were able to do it for 3 years. But this year, it is a different story. And this year, the CW being sold and the lack of finances caused Batwoman to be shut down and pulled off the air, which is a good thing because that show never deserved to be on the air in the first place. Number 3, Disney. My brothers, we are all aware of Disney, who is the destroyer of franchises like Star Wars. But in this case, it's not about Star Wars. It's about the overall curbing of Disney's power when it comes to woke or identity politics. Specifically in the state of Florida, Disney boasted that within their realm of their property, in their Disney world, they can do anything and everything in terms of pushing wokeness, in terms of pushing identity politics, in terms of, as they put it, creating a safe space for people that want to be lesbians, homosexuals, all these types of things. They could even expose children to transgenderism. They could do all these things. And there was nothing that anyone could do about it, except for not to come to Disney World at all. And even over the objections of the citizens of Florida, Disney could do these things because, as I found out, in which I was surprised to find out, Disney is a state within a state. So basically you have the state of Florida, and then, for instance, you have the state of Disney. And how this got this way, Walt Disney, when he was building Disney World, he finagled a deal and got the state of Florida to give Disney World exclusive rights to do anything and everything that they wanted to do. So they could have a police force, they could have their own sanitation systems, they could even build a nuclear power plant if they wanted to, and go around the regulations of Florida if they wanted to. Because, again, they had this exclusive power which gave them the capability to do anything and everything that they wanted to. So, flash forward to our present times. Disney has been pushing wokeness, identity politics, all sorts of things. And basically, again, they have been pushing all types of transgenderism, homosexuality, lesbianism, everything and anything in terms of alternative lifestyles. Disney has been pushing it. And one day, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, told them that, hey, you need to stop this or else. You need to stop pushing this stuff onto children. You need to stop doing these types of things and just go back to being entertainment. You are not designed to be a state where you can have rules and regulations which govern how the education of children or allowing certain things to happen on your property. You can't do this. Disney turned around and gave DeSantis the middle finger. And so DeSantis turned around and issued an executive order which took away all of Disney's exclusivity in terms of being a state within a state. And so now they have to pay taxes. Now they have to do all sorts of things. And as a result of a combination of pushing wokeness and what happened to them in terms of what DeSantis did, Disney has lost over $60 billion in market capitalization. And so again, this is another situation where they have been doing things for years. It got to a head, and now the faucet has been turned off, and now they are paying the price. And these companies, which are public companies, shareholders are calling up. They're very angry, and it's like, why the hell are you doing this stuff? Why the hell are you pushing woke? Why the hell are you affecting the stock price? Why are you doing these things? Again, it is a time now where woke can no longer be sustained financially. My brothers, there are many others like Netflix, which had a dramatic stock loss after losing 200,000 subscribers for the first time in its history. And many have said that the subscriber loss was due to the economy, this and that, whatever. But in actuality, part of the issue is the woke programming that Netflix is doing and it not being received by its viewers. And of course, there is competition from other streaming services that Netflix has to deal with. And this is another example of what was then is not now. Netflix, for a long time, was a big player in the streaming services. But now, again, flash forward to today, there are many fish in the pond which Netflix is in. And, of course, bad programming, which is full of woke, does not sell and can contribute to a loss of subscribers. Or CNN Plus. CNN Plus was a new streaming service which was set up by CNN. And again, because of CNN and its woke newscasting, all the things that it's doing, CNN Plus, a streaming service which they thought would be very popular, which would have a lot of subscribers, flopped after 23 days. It had to be shut down after 23 days. Again, because of their woke programming, woke newscasting. Another case of an immediate shutdown due to the unsustainability of being woke. And I suspect that as time marches forward, we will see more examples of how woke is not sustainable financially. But overall, my brothers, realize that the feminist plantation state is on the ropes right now because of all the blows it is taking, including the negative reactions to woke programming or being woke in some way or pushing woke on people when they don't want to hear about it. And anything from their venues being shut down to men walking away to the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the U.S., possibly overturning Roe versus Wade. Again, the FPS is hurting right now because of the unsustainability of wokeness and the other blows that are coming to the feminist plantation state or have come to the feminist plantation state, which may mean a possible change in terms of the pendulum swinging in the other direction. And my brothers, while yes, it is a good time to break out some popcorn and your favorite drink of your choice to watch the show, so to speak, nevertheless, it is important that we MGTOW men, we Red Pill and MGTOW men, remain vigilant in terms of holding the line. And I would also say to you what RPM said in his content because of what happened to Dave Chappelle and the craziness surrounding it. If you don't know, Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage similar in the manner like Will Smith did to Chris Rock in the Oscars. But Dave Chappelle was attacked, and RPM's warning, which I also state, is that this craziness that we see, the craziness with the feminist plantation state because of what's happening with the wokeness being shut down, what's happening with them being hit from every side, people in our society going kind of crazy, that we men who have our eyes open need to also watch our backs. My brothers, again, yes, in your free time, break out that popcorn and your favorite drink of choice to watch the show, or the shit show as you would say. But again, be vigilant in terms of holding the line, daily consumption of red pills, daily embracement of the MGTOW philosophy, and finally, watching your backs. Because again, the fight for your freedom is not over. And my brothers, that's why, again, you must hold the line in terms of your freedom. Because, put it this way, when a animal who is injured, who has been fighting, who is bloodied, who is backed into a corner, which I believe the feminist plantation state is now being backed into the corner, that animal is capable of doing anything and everything to try to win a futile battle. So again, my brothers, that's why, as you're enjoying your popcorn, keep your eyes open to what is going on around you. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium Free Talk. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.